Mr. Nixon. You may choose to stand if you want at the podium, or you may remain seated. It's your choice.
Grand Rising, ladies and gentlemen of the court. The case that is being presented today by the state of Ohio is not murder, nor is it felonious assault. Things aren't always what they seem. This case is a case of facts, truth, and common sense. It is not murder if it is self-defense in defense of others. It is not felonious assault if it is stand your ground. It is not my responsibility to prove defense, self-defense, or defense of others or stand your ground. It is on the state to prove it wasn't. I will ask this court to put aside emotion as much as possible with respect to the victim and pay attention to the facts and hear the truth. The truth is the truth. You can't hurt the truth. You can't help the truth. Only thing you can do is hide the truth. And the truth is the state is attempting to hide the truth. I, Quinton Nixon, am not a convicted felon. And me not being a convicted felon, I'm allowed to carry a gun. But I did not have a gun that night of this incident. I was in complete fear for my life. And through testimony from several witnesses, as well as exculpatory evidence, I will be able to prove without a reasonable doubt that my actions were justified in the provisions of law. There are questions that need to be answered. Such questions would be, what is a procedure when someone brandishes a weapon? What do you do? What is a procedure when someone puts a gun to your head? What do you do? And you don't have a gun. I have my Ohio Peace Officer Academy certificate, which my job of choice was armed security that I did for several years. And human nature, when put in situations like that, it is either fight or flight. And I'm being persecuted because I chose to fight for my life. I chose to stand my ground. I was legally allowed to be where I was at. I could never have started the situation or the affray if I didn't have a gun. The state claims that I was high. There's no proof of me being high. The only proof of anyone being high is the person that is deceased, because it was found in the toxicology report. So through testimony from the state's witnesses, as well as my testimony of myself of the actual events that happened that night, I would be able to better prove my argument of self-defense and stand your ground. Excuse me, Your Honor. There was a room, a house, or an apartment full of people. I can't speak on what everyone was doing. I know I was legally allowed to be there by the woman who came and picked me up from my home. These same people would tell you that I'd never had a gun. These same people would tell you that I could have never just went crazy. You don't just see people with guns and go crazy. And you don't have one. That makes no sense. I did give an inconsistent testimony or statement or however you want to call it because I was beaten by SWAT. I was barricaded in a wall and they did throw gas ammunition, which burn your skin. I did lose consciousness when the police stumped me out. I was under duress when I gave those statements. But the truth is the truth. And through the witness's testimony that the state calls, you will be able to hear the truth. And I just asked for a fair trial and asked everything in its totality of the circumstances be taken in consideration. I'm not a violent person. I'm not a monster. This wasn't planned. This wasn't calculated. This was self-defense. I was being jumped and beaten. For what reason? Maybe it was because I was dealing with the woman whose home it was, and her ex-boyfriend was there. I don't know. You can never start the situation if you don't have a weapon. That's all, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Easter, you may call your first witness.
Your Honor, the state calls Angel McLean.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. I'm sorry. It's not Angel McLean. I'm sorry. It's Officer Costa. Sergeant Brooks. I apologize, Your Honor.
Come on up, Sergeant. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. Go ahead and have a seat, please. Make sure the microphone light is blue, and then if you'll keep your voice up and speak into the microphone, please. All right, Mr. Villette, you may proceed.